That's Lisa,
That's Andy.
and today we're going to be driving around Eaton, Ohio, and see what we can find out about each other and about the Star Theater. Anything you want?
Yeah, whatever comes up.
Whatever comes up.
We may solve all the world's problems or create a few.
It's early.
It's
so
early.
You never know.
Yeah.
Where did you get your start?
In theater?
In theater, in the arts?
I started in theater when I was about 4 years old. Started at Richmond Civic Theater. And at that time, I remember one of my very first shows, we were practicing in the basement of a church.
Yeah.
Was where auditions and rehearsals were held. And then back then, we were bringing lumber and paint and everything from home because there was no money. Norbert Silbiger had, headed it up. And prior to that, it had been a movie theater, and my mother had been a popcorn girl there. Theater saved my life. The arts saved my life, literally, I do believe. And so I have always been involved in theater, and I'm a published author, an artist, all those kinds of things.
Okay.
Have been involved in all of that my entire life in some form or another. So we wound up back here, and I said I'd like to start a theater. I'm thinking black box theater. I'm thinking somebody's little garage. I'm thinking something,
Right.
really,
Right.
really mundane, so to speak. And
small.
Yeah,
right.
Very small, and just but as the fates would have it, a friend of mine who had just recently moved away from here, he used to own Taffy's, Manfred
Taffy's?
Schreier. It's a little bar where they have live music and just
Okay.
really cool little place. He had moved to New Mexico. He'd retired, moved to New Mexico, and sold Taffy's. And he contacted me online and said, "You need to connect with a woman named Mary Bullen." And there's a long story short, Mary and I connected, and we talked for quite some time. And she said, "Well, let me show you what I have." She walked me over to that theater, and when she opened the doors and I walked in, I heard Leonard Cohen singing Hallelujah. Mary is a person who is extremely community oriented. She puts a lot of time and effort and money into this community. And so we have been trying to get this theater up to par, and we will be opening our town there on August 16th, 17th, and 18th. And tickets go on sale July 1st. Tickets go on sale July 1st.
What was the condition of the auditorium, of the theater itself, when you stepped into it that first day?
Well, it wasn't terrible. It was old. A lot of things had been sold out of it at an auction. I think they must have auctioned off things, through time.
Right.
And so it wasn't terrible. There had been some work already done in it. The Star Theater at Eagles Point is a nonprofit organization, which means we're trying to raise money.
That's a difficult task.
Yes, it is a difficult task. You have to get people to catch your vision and your mission, and understand how important what you are doing is to a community, whatever you may be doing.
Right.
So I spend a lot of time trying to do that sort of thing. But my vision, when I started pulling a board together, was to have a performing arts place that would serve the community while also entertaining the community. And what I mean by that is it will be a movie house, live theater, music concert, community time when people from the community can lease the theater, We're going to be offering classes in all things artsy theater. We'll have lecture series, children's theater. Also be working with organizations in the community to allow them find a way for different groups, like maybe wellness and recovery, to do some type of performance, just different things like that. The sky's the limit. The Preble County Art Association is actually moving downtown here. There will be an ongoing art gallery in there. There will be many, and they will be moving all their art classes. Everything will be in there.
Wow.
We are so excited at the theater that they're there,
Yeah.
because we're starting to see kind of a resurgence of art in the area.
You've got Our Town coming up in August.
Mm-hmm.
What's your season, this opening season? Because this is your first season, right?
Yes, and we're only a half a season this year because of timing. So we are doing a thing called the Holiday Happening, a talent review in December, and that will be, we will be auditioning for that late October. That will be where people will come, and it'll be like a talent show. Once everybody auditions and we see what we can put together, then we will cast those particular acts, and I will create a show around them.
Sure.
And that will be our Christmas show this year. I just want to give a big shout out to the Eaton City Building. They have been allowing us to rehearse.
I was going to ask that. Where you've been
You saw the theater, so we can't rehearse in the theater.
Right.
So they have been allowing us to rehearse in the city building, which has
Wow.
been an extreme blessing. And then also the Nazarene Church out underneath the water tower, is how I describe it, has also given us rehearsal space. So we've kind of been bouncing back and forth. We're hoping to be able to be on our stage and rehearsing early July.
Okay.
So that is, everybody's got every finger and toe crossed on their bodies for that.
Well, and by the looks of it, I mean, the stage itself
Is not terrible.
is,
Yeah.
right, that's pretty, I mean, as far as
Yeah.
that goes, you have a completed surface with no holes in the floor.
Exactly.
So,
We can rehearse on it.
yeah, because you'd
Yeah.
probably be in the evening.
Yeah, it would be in
when
the
they're not
evening, so
working
construction would be out.
Yep.
And next year we are going to open with Quilters, which is a musical,
anyway.
in March. And then we will be doing August Osage County, Winnie the Pooh, I believe. Through the year, we have blocked out chunks of community time, so the community can lease the theater
Gotcha.
and do something they might want to do, or if you guys wanted to come over and do a a fun reach out of improv, that would be wonderful. Just all those kinds of things that we can do, and I'm hoping that we are so close here between, we have Dayton. When we, for example, when we cast Our Town, we had people audition from Dayton, Brookville, Ohio, Miami, or Oxford, Ohio, down by Miami University, Richmond, Indiana. I had a person from Winchester, Indiana, audition. So people came from all over.
That's fantastic.
It is fantastic. And we have the ability here, even though it's an Eaton theater, we have an ability to bring in people from different areas.
You had that kind of turnout for auditions, and that you cast nearly 40 people for being your first production.
Yes.
There's nothing I'd be frowning at with that.
No. The only thing we had to do was chase men, as usual.
Okay.
Which is usual.
It,
You don't have, unless you're in New York or
right.
LA,
Right. It's hard to get men to audition.
It's hard to get men to audition in community theater. It really is.
How do you personally? What do you seek through art? Whether it's something you're creating or producing, which is technically the same thing. Mm-hmm. What do you hope to achieve?
It's a tricky question because there are layers to it. There's no one answer or pat answer to that.
Right.
On a very personal level, as I said earlier, art, theater, dancing, all of that, writing, painting, all of those things saved me. I came out of a very abusive childhood. I was very lost for a long time, but I was always good at that, and it was a way to kind of navigate and negotiate the insanity around me on a personal level.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably where all artists start.
Yeah, I think we all dance with our demons. If you're talented in some artsy way, you probably are dancing with some sort of demon. On a bigger level, something way outside of me is that, and I tell my board this all the time, I tell Cass this, if I go out here and get run over by you, mm-hmm. or a bus, or better chance of being a tractor in this area, I want that theater to go on. It is not for me. The theater is not for me. It's for the community. So it's not about me. And that's, there's like this, there's this birthing and then this separation. Mm-hmm. I'm intensely involved right now because I'm giving birth. But down the road, you know, if I decide I want to go live on a Caribbean island, I want this to continue right on. And, you know, we lease, we don't own the building that we're in. We will be leasing it from Mary. But she has made a real commitment to the community to bring that up. Oh, by the way, that's Eaton Floral. Mm-hmm. Tickets will go on sale July 1st, and that is where you can buy paper tickets.
Oh, okay.
The rest of the tickets will be online.
Well, okay, let's explore that thought. When you make a statement that you know, I'm paraphrasing here, but you want that theater to live beyond your time with it, mm-hmm. however that's defined.
Right.
That's the exact same kinds of thoughts that Amy and I have with Diva, mm-hmm. is that, as I've never thought of, we always think of it in terms of beyond our lifetime. Mm-hmm. But you make a good point. There may be a time in 10 years, you don't know what's coming around the corner, mm-mm. that you either you want or need to pass this on to other capable hands.
Exactly.
But when you have those original conversations of, we know we want to do something for the community that is arts related, arts minded, it is such a wonderfully happy memory to have those thoughts, and you know this is a great idea.
Yeah.
This is what we need to do.
Yeah.
So when you think about those moments compared to where you are today, do you lean on those moments? Do you need those moments to remind you? Or, because I mean, yeah, there are days that are tougher than others, as things are, because I mean, you guys are in a real nuts and bolts phase of the process. So do you keep those in your side pocket all the time, or?
Well, yes, I think there's two distinct memories that I go back to. One is my husband saying to me, because I teach online at universities, and I had stepped away from the academic administration. I said, I've got to get off this rat race. It's killing my soul. And my husband said, well, I know you well enough to know you're not going to sit around at home, so what are you going to do? And I said, you know, I'd like to start a theater. And me being me, I just spoke that out into the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as I shared earlier, looking around for a garage, a building. We bought a little 10-acre farm, and I thought, can I use this barn?
Right.
But the barn is not, I couldn't put anybody in it. In fact, we're going to have to take the barn down, sadly. But I think about that memory. I think about him looking at me and saying, so what are you going to do? And me just popping off with, I think I'll start a theater. The other memory that I have, well, I guess there are three. The other one is sitting on my couch and talking with a friend of mine from New York. And he said, so girl, what you doing now? And I said, well, this is a really neat community, but they don't have a theater. I said, all of the talent drains either to Richmond Civic Theater, down to Miami, or over to Brookville or Dayton.
Right.
And I said, wouldn't it be lovely for them to have a performing arts theater, a community theater here? And he says, well, girl, if anybody's going to do it, you will. And I chuckled, and life went on. But I go back and I hear his voice. The third thing that I rest on is the day that Mary walked me into that auditorium and said, well, let me show you what I got. Something that's really important to focus on is the importance of arts. In a community, in our schools, in our daily life. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm not an artsy person, or, oh, I don't know anything about art. Yet I will also hear that same person say, boy, isn't that flower pretty? Or, hey, did you see the angle on that house? Or, hey, did you see The Walking Dead last night? Or,
Sure.
We derive ourselves from art. There's the old, does art imitate life, or does life imitate art? The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is both. It is all. And children who have the arts tend to do much better in schools.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and rattle through.
No, but it's true.
But it's true. I know as a college professor, I can tell in my classes what students have had their finger in the arts in depth and what ones haven't. And that's fascinating to me to watch that. I try to incorporate in every class that I do, I incorporate an assignment that allows for great creativity and art. People can make videos, they can draw paintings, they can do whatever they want to do within the parameters of the assignment. And art is that important to me, and I think art is that important to a community. It's not just about this play or that play, it's about arts as a whole. And that's what it's about. It's about creating a community. It's a place for anybody and everybody, and that's what I want the theater to be.
Can you, for just long enough to give, can you look into the phones without the sunglasses, just so we see your face in its entirety, unless you'd rather not? That's
no.
totally
Well, let
okay.
me just explain. It's bright and sunny out here, and I get migraines from the sun.
Okay.
So I have really light sensitive eyes.
You can't be Corey Hart the whole time with the sunglasses.
Oh, stop sign.
That is a stop sign. Hey,
Yes.
I've driven a car before.